When life feels out of control, it's easy to look to authority for guidance. But there are times when we must take matters into our own hands. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. Here's his advice. Do what is right. It's that simple, yet so profound. It seems obvious, but how often do we stray from it? How often do we compromise our values and principles for convenience, comfort, or popularity? How often do we let fear or ambition cloud our judgment? When we do, we lose sight of our humanity, becoming like everyone else. But when we stick to what's right, we set ourselves apart. We become better not just in the eyes of others, but most importantly in our own eyes. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. Don't be like everyone else. Be better, be exceptional. And it all starts with doing what's right. So when faced with a choice between right and wrong, don't hesitate. Choose right. The world will thank you. You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you react. That's what makes us human, our ability to choose, to make a difference. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the power of doing what's right, why it's so important, why it's so difficult, and how we can overcome the challenges that stand in our way. Join me as we explore these questions together and discover how to truly live a life of purpose and integrity. Whether you're a seasoned Stoic or a curious beginner, this episode is for you. So let us dive in and see what Marcus Aurelius has to teach us about the importance of doing what is right. You know, we all have different paths in life. Some of us are born into privilege. Others have to fight for every inch of progress. But no matter where you start, what cards you're dealt, you have a choice. You can choose to be a victim of circumstance, or you can choose to be a master of your own destiny. And that's what Marcus Aurelius teaches us here. Your circumstances don't define you. Your choices do. He says, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let me say that again. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, obstacles don't block the path. They are the path. They force us to adapt, to innovate, to become better. They push us out of our comfort zones and help us grow. Of course, it's easier said than done. Facing your problems, especially the ones you've been avoiding, takes courage, determination, and resilience. But the rewards are immeasurable. Not only will you develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and personal growth, but you'll also gain a sense of empowerment and fulfillment that comes from knowing that you're in control of your own life. It's easy to get caught up in the little things, to worry about things that are beyond our control. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us to focus on what we can change. He says, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. In other words, we have the power to choose how we react to events. We can't control the cards we're dealt, but we can control how we play our hand. It's a lesson we can apply to every aspect of our lives, from our relationships to our careers, from our health to our happiness. So instead of wasting time and energy worrying about the things we can't control, let's focus on what we can change: our thoughts, our actions, our habits. Let us realize that we have the power to shape our own destinies and create the life we want. We've all experienced moments in life where we had to make tough decisions, where the stakes were high and the consequences of our choices felt overwhelming. In those times, it's easy to feel paralyzed by fear, indecision, or doubt. But Marcus Aurelius, the legendary Roman emperor and philosopher, reminds us that the key to overcoming these moments lies in our ability to stay focused on what is right. He famously wrote, "When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." In this quote, Marcus Aurelius encourages us to approach each day with a sense of gratitude and mindfulness. He reminds us that every day is a gift, a new opportunity to do what's right, to make a positive impact on the world around us. But it's not just about being grateful for the opportunity. It's also about recognizing the responsibility that comes with it. Every day is a chance to do what's right, to act in accordance with our values and principles, even when no one is watching. To be honest, just and compassionate, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. But it's not always easy to do what's right. We often face situations where there are multiple options, where the lines between right and wrong are blurred. In these moments, it's easy to get lost in the details, to overanalyze the situation and become paralyzed by indecision. However, as Marcus Aurelius teaches us, the answer often lies within our grasp. We just need to focus on our principles, on our core values, on the kind of person we want to be. By asking ourselves these questions, we can cut through the noise and make decisions that align with who we are and what we believe in. Of course, this doesn't mean that we always get it right. We are human after all, and we are bound to make mistakes. But by making a genuine effort to do what's right, to seek wisdom and understanding, we can strive for excellence in our decision-making and become the kind of people we admire. We all have fears, doubts, and insecurities that hold us back from pursuing our goals. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that true strength comes not from the absence of these emotions, but from our ability to rise above them. He writes, "The brave man is not he who does not feel fear, but he who conquers it." In other words, bravery isn't the absence of fear, but the presence of courage. It's the ability to confront our fears and doubts head-on and still take action towards our goals. It's not easy, but it is essential if we want to lead a fulfilling and meaningful life. Fear and doubt can hold us back in many areas of our lives. They can prevent us from pursuing our dreams, from speaking our truth, from standing up for what we believe in. But by embracing our fears and using them as fuel to propel us forward, we can overcome any obstacle and achieve anything we set our minds to. As Marcus Aurelius teaches us, the key to bravery lies within us. It is up to us to tap into that inner strength and use it to overcome the challenges that stand in our way. We all want to be remembered for something, to leave a positive impact on the world around us. But in a world where it's easy to get lost in the crowd, it can be difficult to know how to stand out. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, offers some sage advice in his book Meditations. He writes, "You could stop being a mindless drone following the crowd, or you could try to be an individual, a one-of-a-kind original." In this quote, Marcus Aurelius challenges us to be more than just a mindless follower. He encourages us to be individuals who think for themselves, who take risks, who pursue their own path in life. But it's not just about being different for the sake of it. It's about being true to ourselves, to our values, to our passions. It's about having the courage to stand up for what we believe in, even when it's unpopular or difficult. Of course, it's easier said than done. Standing out takes courage, determination, and resilience, but the rewards are immeasurable. Not only will we gain the respect and admiration of others, but we'll also develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and personal growth. We'll learn to embrace our uniqueness and use it to make a positive impact on the world. So let us take Marcus Aurelius' advice to heart and strive to be individuals who stand out from the crowd. Let's be the one-of-a-kind originals that this world needs more of. And that's all for today's episode. I hope you found Marcus Aurelius' words inspiring and thought-provoking. Remember, doing what is right is a simple yet profound concept that can guide us towards a life of purpose and integrity. I encourage you to reflect on these words and put them into practice in your daily life. If you enjoyed this episode and found it valuable, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Thank you for listening. Marcus Aurelius' principle "do what is right" is a cornerstone of Stoic ethics, and one of the most powerful reminders in Meditations. It emphasizes the idea that a virtuous life is defined not by external rewards, social approval, or fear of punishment, but by the unwavering commitment to act with integrity according to reason and justice. For Marcus, doing what is right is not optional, it is the very essence of being human. The Stoic worldview asserts that the universe is governed by rational order and that human beings, as rational creatures, have a duty to live in harmony with this order. This means aligning our actions with virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. When Marcus says, "do what is right," he is urging us to act based on these virtues rather than on impulses, desires, or external pressures.